finally saw Weapons a couple of nights ago after every single person on this planet had already seen it, and I gotta say, pretty disappointing. Pretty disappointing. Not in the fact that it's a bad movie, because it's not. It's actually a certified, stamped, official good movie. Pretty disappointing in terms of what I had been told Weapons was, and the hype behind Weapons to really essentially be the modern day Godfather of the horror genre. A movie so good that it could potentially garner a Best Picture nomination. Compared to that, it was really disappointing. Now, admittedly, maybe this is a me problem because I did wait to watch Weapons until it came to my home, and I missed out on the opportunity to see a movie like this in a big, dark room with a bunch of strangers and friends and share a very pivotal, important communal experience in a horror movie like Weapons. Yes, I messed that up, and I should have gone to see it in theaters. And now that I've seen this movie, I can understand why people were so high on it out of a theater. It seems like it would be a very good theatrical experience. Nonetheless, I didn't get a chance to partake in that theatrical experience. I watched it in my home, and admittedly, I feel like I have a pretty good setup in my home, and I turned off all the lights, and I turned on the backlight to my television, and I was invested in Weapons, and I said, tonight is the night I'm finally going to catch up on Weapons, and I'm going to get to be part of the discourse 2 months too late. And I don't know, it just didn't really strike me like I feel like it would have if I had seen it in a theater, maybe if I had seen it with a group of friends, if I had seen it in the heat of the public conversation, whatever the case is, Weapons just kind of didn't really do it for me. I liked Barbarian. I like Zach Cregger. I think he brings something really interesting to the horror genre of putting forth these really simplistic ideas, like a double-booked Airbnb, or all of a sudden an entire classroom of children go missing, and then taking those ideas and making something horrifying and extravagant and really intense, especially when it gets to the end of whatever movie it is that it pertains to. So I don't have anything out against like Cregger or his style of storytelling or his horror movies or anything like that. I just think that all of the components of Weapons didn't coalesce to be a great movie for me. They did coalesce to make a pretty solid movie, a good movie, a fine 3.5-star movie, but nothing more than that. I do feel like there's a pretty large contingent of people out there that see someone like me that thinks Weapons is okay or good or maybe not good even, and they claim that they don't get it. They didn't understand it. They didn't click with it. I get it. There's a pretty large visual motif that happens in the middle of the movie that clearly explains what we're doing thematically with Weapons, at least what I think that Cregger intended that thematic journey to be. So it's not that I don't get it, because I get it. And I generally was a fan of the character-focused storytelling that this movie engages in. I thought it was a pretty tantalizing effect that Cregger employed in this movie up until about halfway, where I kind of just wasn't really interested in the children or Aunt Gladys or the disappearance or any of the actual things that I should have cared about, and I was more interested in seeing Austin Abrams and Alden Ehrenreich act against each other and be really funny and ridiculous. And a quick spoiler warning for the ending of Weapons. Before I watched this movie, I did know that an Aunt Gladys prequel was greenlit, so I knew at least some semblance of what might happen to her character or what might be important about her character. So yes, I did know that going into it, but ultimately I found the Aunt Gladys character to be much more shock value and less interesting as a character. I'm a lore guy, and Weapons doesn't really delve into the lore, hence the Aunt Gladys prequel, which I'll probably watch, I guess. I didn't really find her all that intriguing as a character. I think her costume will probably be pretty cool this Halloween, but other than that, I don't think Weapons dove into the lore behind any of the magic or any of the ideas, themes, actual happenings of what Aunt Gladys is doing. I know she's a parasite. I know that that is like being hinted at, and I know that's how she lives or gets her energy or whatever the case is, but like, do kids give her the same energy as adults? Why does she need so many kids? Why does she choose 2:17 a.m.? Like, where are all of these answers? If I missed these answers, genuinely, please leave a comment and let me know, because I feel like my viewing experience would be enhanced by knowing these pieces of information, and I find myself at odds with a lot of horror movies that don't really revel in the lore that they set up, and they kind of leave it a mystery. And I feel like Weapons kind of does that, and that's probably why it ultimately didn't really work for me the same way it worked for a lot of other people. Again, this isn't a bad movie. This is a good movie. I just don't think it's a great movie. I don't think it's a masterpiece. I don't think it's a best picture contender. I don't think it's remotely on that level that I was sold it to be on. What did you think of Weapons? Drop a comment below and let me know your thoughts on the film. Don't forget to like this video, subscribe to this channel, and hit the bell so you are notified every single time I upload a new review of a movie. I will catch you in the next video.